You talk about he let you know in his own eyes that he was ready.
Yes.
What was that like? How did that come about? Because he became quite poorly and was taken
Yes.
into hospital, wasn't he?
Yeah. So Rob was taken into hospital with pneumonia, and became very poorly. And I think it was soon quite apparent that he probably wasn't going to come out of hospital. And I was Rob's advocacy, and it was really hard to have that conversation about whether Rob wanted to carry on. I talk about it in the book how I felt enormous guilt because I was the one that had to ask that question. Rob, do you want to carry on? Have you had enough? We knew he was doing it tough. He didn't want his Red Bull. He didn't want his Coke, and that wasn't Rob.
Oh, right, yeah.
He didn't want physio. He didn't want any intervention. And when you care for someone, you don't want to see them suffering.
No.
And he'd fought his battle and it was time. But I felt so guilty that I'd had to ask Rob that question, and I felt, should I have said, Rob, carry on, please carry on. But I knew that Rob was finding it increasingly hard. He'd had so much taken away from him, and seeing him so acutely unwell, it just wasn't fair. And I remember sitting out of the room and talking to one of the nurses, and she said, you've done you couldn't have done any more, it's time, basically.